A senior partner at the Conservative Partnership Institute and former chief of staff to President Trump, former North Carolina Congressman Mark Meadows. Mark, thanks for joining us. I've put up that Senate rule for our audience that would allow a former president to command the floor of the Senate, as you suggested. How do you think that would go?
Hey, let me just tell you, it would be must-watch TV, Matt. You know and I know that it would just melt the internet down. I think the president should do that. I think if he goes on the floor of the Senate, it will have more action on the floor of the Senate than they've seen in decades, primarily because he actually means what he says.
So Leader Thune has said he will bring this bill to the floor, but explain how that doesn't really mean he's doing everything possible to pass the bill.
Yeah, Matt, probably the biggest thing is I want to say thank you, Leader Thune, for bringing it to the floor. But don't file cloture. Let's make the Democrats speak. Let's make sure that they hold the floor. And if they can't hold the floor, then let's pass it with a 50-vote threshold. And candidly, you and I have served in Congress. We know how this goes. There's what we call the robust whip and the soft whip. The soft whip is so they can tell everybody, hey, we've whipped it, there's not the votes there. The robust whip is what they do on anything that generally is not what the American people want, or at least is what K Street wants. They'll go robustly about that. And so we need him to do a robust whip with these senators and say, get on board and let's pass the Save America Act. The American people don't understand what is the big deal, and especially when you've got Schumer and others pushing back against it, Matt.
Yeah, so you and I have both spent plenty of time on the wrong end of the robust whip during our time in the House of Representatives together. Oh, it reminds
so
you.
True.
It just gives me like the creepy crawlies to think about the Paul Ryan speakership. But I want to get to some of the tools that would make that happen, right? That's not a phone call requesting that these senators you've named come on board. That's things like withholding appropriations. That's things like committee assignments or chairmanships. Walk us through the robust whip you want to see in the United States Senate.
Yeah, listen, senators, as you know, both in the House and in the Senate, but particularly in the Senate, you don't get elected or reelected without the big coffers coming in for your behalf. It's so hard to get rid of a sitting senator, primarily because hundreds of millions, not tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars get spent on their behalf. So you can withhold that. You say, listen, we understand you're a majority maker, but you need us to get reelected. So go first to those people that are in cycle. Listen, senators like Tom Tillis who are going out, you're not going to convince him to do it, but go to the others that actually want to come back and do that. There's also the potential with committee assignments. Listen, I think Donald Trump said this best the other day. He's the leader of the Senate. He needs to lead and get these people on board. And I will say we've seen some real action in the last 24 hours based not in just in the fact that so many Americans that are tuned in watching us here have lit up the switchboards and the social media to say we want this bill passed.
Well, Leader Thune said that the people calling for an end to the talking filibuster were just paid influencers. Did you ever think you'd be so cool as to be deemed a paid influencer, Mark Meadows?
Well, I'm waiting for that first paycheck as a paid influencer. So I can tell you that literally what this is a grassroots support.
Yes.
The influencers that are out there, they're coming along, but they're not getting paid to move this motivation and go forward. It's 85% issue. Why is there such a problem getting
right, like
an
what?
85%?
Who is the special interest out there paying influencers for voter ID? If there was some massive special interest out there paying influencers on voter ID, we probably would have gotten it done before now because of the popularity you explained. Now, when you and I were in Congress together, we lived under the tyranny of a person called the Senate parliamentarian because they got to decide what was considered under a lower threshold than 60 votes. Our friends like Chip Roy and Scott Perry were pushing really hard to get this Save America Act into the last reconciliation bill. The Senate parliamentarian hired by like Harry Reid many moons ago, said no. Why won't Leader Thune just fire the Senate parliamentarian? Like make Cleta Mitchell the Senate parliamentarian for a week and a half and we save the country.
Well, their heads would explode if Cleta Mitchell became the Senate parliamentarian, I can tell you that. But you're exactly right. What happens is you've got this parliamentarian, and it's almost as if, Matt, they just want to lose, but want to lose in a gentleman or ladylike fashion. And I can tell you, the donor class, even the donor class, have taken notice of this. If they don't get the Save America Act passed and to the president's desk, there will be a problem. Listen, they passed out of the Senate today a housing bill that has a real rocky road coming to the House. I don't think the House will take it up, nor should they take it up, until the Save America Act is in the Oval Office for the president's signature.
It'll be an interesting one to watch. Thank you for leading on this fight. Mark Meadows, the senior partner at the Conservative Partnership Institute, former congressman, former chief of staff to President Trump. Always good to be in the fight with you, my friend.
Great to be with you, Matt. Thanks for taking the message to the American people.
Thank you.
For all our viewers asking where One America News is heading in the future, we would like to introduce you to OAN Live. OAN Live is the best way to stay up to date on all of the hard-hitting, straight-shooting, national and international headlines. And the best part is, OAN Live is only $4.99 per month. All the credible, honest, unbiased reporting One America News offers at a fraction of the cost of cable. Just go to OANN.com to easily sign up for OAN Live and stay informed.